The man or woman that lives his daily life and handles their daily affairs without some type of functional and deliberate spiritual work is no different than a dead man walking. Spirituality, by your claim, appearance, or saying you're an empath, or that you're caring, religious, light in incense, wearing fez, wearing turban, is insufficient. In a world filled with those constantly willing to take advantage of you in every turn, saying you're spiritual because of your religion or because you're an empath is no different than saying that because the rays of the sun lands on a plant, that the plant will automatically be guaranteed to get all its nutrients. That plant can die because of direct sunlight. That plant can get all the sunlight at once, but if there's no nutritional value of water or healthy soil, it's not there. Nothing would happen. The sun is just there beaming upon it. And that's no different than you claiming to be spiritual. You have to do things continuously, practically, functionally, to where it's a lifestyle, not part of what you do as an option. It's a repetitive cycle. That way, when the time comes to get it done, you've built that muscle spiritually to the point where when you get it done, you get it done. It'll be easy. That is to say, if spiritual works like this are to be done, you must have previously had consistent spiritual practices in your life. Because this is no different. Think of those punching machines where it gauges the amount of momentum you've generated by coming in contact with it. You punch that thing and then it calculates the numbers. The higher the number are, the harder you've hit it. Same as with what I'm about to explain here in this video. You might hit it and do it, but on a scale of 0 to 1,000, the strength of your impact might be 10 or 100, when you require at least 500 for it to be effective. What causes you to be effective when you hit the thing, when you do the spiritual work, is your consistent practice of building that spiritual muscle. Someone feeble and weak is going to hit that same machine that calculates the amount of strength that they've released compared to another man, and they will have two separate results because one man is also stronger than the other. All men are not made equal, and that applies spiritually also. And the way you can cultivate spiritual strength is to have some type of spiritual practice you do consistently. For what I'm about to show you to really be potent. This is one of many caveats to this video. Another caveat is that everything I'm going to show and explain here has nothing, zero, to do with religion or the need to convert you to anything. And I suggest that if you cringe easily, just do yourself a favor and close this tab and close this video, and we can all pretend it never existed in the first instance. Also, if this is presumed to be some type of atheist movement, you can also close this tab and close this video. I'm well aware that spirit and science are no different. This thing called electromagnetism works beyond what we call aura or waves. There are chemical structures in everything that works based on the laws of similitude. And there are animal parts and plants that exist outside of the human being that mimics exact molecular building blocks of what makes things what they are. These building blocks are simply what is worked with, nothing more, no matter what the appearance looks like. No words can be intelligently uttered without the use of tongue. Let me repeat that. No words can be intelligently uttered. You can make sounds, you can make series of sound. But when it comes to human communication, the gift that we have compared to any other flesh and blood creature is that we have the ability to use the tongue in a very unique way to create very unique, creative words. Hence, we create reality. When someone says, hey, dismiss this guy's case, that means they are creating a reality from their words. And that piece of paper that they type those things on is just an extension of their words that they would otherwise utter with their tongue. No words can be uttered intelligently, and a reality be created without the use of tongue. When it comes to words, and words written on paper are simply thoughts materialized in one form, and thus can be inevitably bound by anyone willing to do so with a pure heart and mind. If you are wondering why I do certain things in a certain way, why I'm pen and paper and it works, and you are ready in some ways or another to test it out yourself, then listen very carefully and keep watching it very prudently. Filling out papers and mailing things out is something that anyone can do. Anyone can do it. Anyone can type something in a piece of paper and mail it out. Anyone can do that. All these other people claiming one thing or the other are doing that years after years and no results. The reason why none of them get result beyond the hype train, beyond making up some new false remedies and still lying to themselves about how reality works, is because they don't engage in mental and spiritual toil, the most crucial part that brings everything you want on pen and paper to life. If spiritual and mental toil is not engaged in, what you put on paper, what you call remedy, is dead. You need to dedicate time and repetition and full faith in the world that is not seen. And only few really care enough to do such a thing. And I can comprehend, because most people are so occupied with other things in life. Most people don't even get the time to stop and think about things of this nature. There's so much people are doing every day. And those who do have the time are bound by their own hex. Hex is not something someone has to deliberately do and send to you. All of us have our own hexes that we put upon ourselves based on our own minds. When you think about something negative, some limitation, that's you putting a hex on yourself. Most people have opportunities that walk across them every day, and they just walk past it because of their presumption of what it's supposed to be. Same thing applies with remedy on pen and paper. Mental and spiritual toil is what separates the reality of those who are true to themselves and those who are faking the fun. Anything it's meant to hold, as good as a new needle does. Whatever word that they utter or place on paper will never be able to hold ground and will be rotten and have the same significance and attractiveness as anything that's rotten in the ears and the eyes and the mind of whoever the information was supposed to be delivered to. And all their words and the significance of their words will be bound and nailed down just as the significance of a nail. The law of similitude. At this point, you should have probably watched the video regarding spirit circles. When you do this, you just don't do it in any place. I'm letting you know, whenever people give this workout to others to do, they will not tell you. If you think that the specific subject matter is not known by tortfeasors, then think again. This is a newspaper publication by the Los Angeles Times, the year 1997. Cow tongue discovery called voodoo ritual. Voodoo is just a West African term for spirit, nothing more than that. Ritual just means something customary or anything related to customary. Rite, which is the root word of ritual, is a custom or practice. Al, which is the suffix of the term ritual, just means related to. The word rite, a ceremonial or formal act. Any formal, customary observance, practice, or procedure. A ceremonial, formal, solemn act, observance, or procedure. Like the rule of civil procedure, like the court procedures, like any procedures you do when you wake up, you do certain things. In your daily life, that is a procedure. In other words, anything you do repetitively, that's a custom in your lifestyle, is simply a rite. And the suffix al simply means relating to. So let's remove all the spookiness. It behooves me most people who speak the English language don't know their own language or what they call their own primary language. So this word ritual just means an act relating to custom. Customs of what? Spirit. And that's what the word voodoo means. In other words, spiritual work is what voodoo ritual means. If any layman was to see this or read this, they might get creeped out and categorize it as something completely different. When in truth, the English language, which is the primary medium to which this word is being disseminated into their mind, is telling you this just means a customary act of a spiritual nature. But of course, to some it might spook them out. But nonetheless, let's leave that be and go to the fact that these people, on the other hand, know about this so much that they put it into a Los Angeles newspaper, preferably before then light some type of incense, which would basically chase away any type of entity or spirit around that might prevent you. And of course, I use that term spirit sparingly, and just for the sake of the conversation, because I know spirit just means breath or the word, but spirit in the sense that things that are animated are the entities that you cannot see. When you light incense, what happens is there are things that exist in this world that are neither living or dead. They just exist. And what they do is they work with the ebbs and flow of fortune. Some things might be around your house that day based on a thought form in your neighborhood or yourself or someone that's in that house with you that might prevent the validity of this work, especially if you're not spiritually astute or if your spiritual muscle is not strong enough. So things like lighting incense assists weighing those off and chases them away. What I usually do is I burn, if you're doing it on a planetary hour of Saturn, then do it at 1 a.m. in the morning. Now you also have to consider that most candles, and on top of that, I'm showing you proof of everything that I've been doing and how it works. To remain mundane at this point is your choice. You might not need this now, but maybe somewhere down the line, a few years later, you just might need it. You just might need it. There are the things that are done that makes paperwork work. And those who do it will never tell you or show you. You know, normal stuff, physical hygiene. Well, there's spiritual hygiene that's supposed to be part of your lifestyle. You're supposed to clean things up and get things done. Arms out. It will be from the tip of your finger, all the way a little bit above the end of your wrist. Dig that deep and place it in there. And once you place it in there and you put the soil back on top of it, place a rock or something heavy on it, because there are scavenging animals like wild dogs or any other creatures that might dig it back up. And in fact, here's a side note. Whenever we suspect that someone has done any spiritual work against us and we want to counteract it, and we know that that spiritual work is usually buried, what we will do is we will replicate or simulate that same work against us and then fit it to a dog buried inside the earth and act as a lid that no one can open, unless it's in a place where someone saw you do it and they deliberately removed it and dug it out. So I say go in the woods and get it done. Once you get that done and you get back home, put some salt and some water and just cover yourself with it. Rinse yourself with it or take some spiritual bath. Simple as that. This is not you locking someone's fortune down. This is not you doing something bad to someone. This is not you putting a hex on someone. This is you taking any circumstance that relates to your success that someone is trying to use words, written or spoken against you. And you are bearing it and you're killing it. The significance of it. They're not going to fall sick. Misfortune is not going to fall upon them. But whatever that subject matter is that they want to speak ill against you, that you buried and you've tied and you've sealed, it's as good as dead. The complete 1 hour video has been posted on the Patreon page. Take care. Best of luck.